back to the week of Spiff Up. So this week we're going to be working with the Master Palette by Mario. This is in collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills. This just released probably a couple weeks ago and I was like, I have to buy this. I have to get a tutorial on it going because this is such a gorgeous palette. So I'm really excited to be working with this today. If you don't know who Mario Dedivanovic... Wait, did I just butcher that? Hold on, let's see how we can pronounce this.
Contouring is kind of like the new diet for the face.
How to pronounce Dedivanovic. Oh, it's French.
2012, I did a Mario Devanovic's makeup workshop.
I'm gonna say Devanovic. If you guys don't know who Mario Devanovic is, he is Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. He is based out in New York City. That's where he kind of grew up. And his background story is really interesting actually. So if you ever get a chance to kind of look and see how he got started in the whole makeup industry, you guys should totally just like Wikipedia him, because that's a credible source. No, but seriously, if you guys want to learn how he got started in like the makeup business, he also does a lot of like stuff on Snapchat, so if you guys want to just see like his life and stuff, you can go and follow him on there. Alright, so without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into this little tutorial. I need some coffee first, hold on. And of course, this is gonna be a little talk through video. Hello. I'm not a savage, guys, jeez. So first things first, we're gonna go in with the Pores No More by Dr. Brandt. This is just a nice primer to help kind of smooth out the complexion so that way you're not really looking like you got a lot of pore issues going on. I like this one a little bit better than the Professional. I just find it to be a lot more enriched with some vitamins and nutrients, and since Dr. Brandt is a skincare brand and I'm just placing it in the areas where I feel like I want the more smoothie areas. So especially where on the areas that I want more of like a highlight, where I want that like highlight poppin', I don't want it to look very bumpy or textury. I just want it to look very smooth and like it's my glow from within, which we all know ain't real. I have some like pore issues like right here. Alright, so for foundation today, we're going to be taking the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I am in the shade 7.0, and I'm just going to take 2 pumps onto the back of my hand, because really that is all you need, because this foundation is such a full coverage finish that 2 pumps is like, whoa bruh, you need to slow your roll. So the best way that I like to apply this foundation is with my beauty blender, and I'm just going to dab one little dab, and I'm just going to kind of break this along the face. That way I have an even distribution of it, and I'm not having to like reapply in a certain area. This is going to be a 24-hour wear. It's going to be non-transfer. It is oil absorbing, waterproof. So this foundation is like the new Kat Von D that everyone's been so obsessed with. Well, at least here in South Texas, where it's like really humid. Now this is where I kind of go in on my second dab here, and I kind of will just pick up some more product and I'll focus it in the areas where I need a little bit more coverage. But honestly, I have been just slowly like transitioning into a more, not sheer I would say, but more of like a less coverage look, to where I don't have that much product on my face, but it still looks like I do. I always think it's so important to like always accept your skin for how it is. Even though you guys know that I have problematic skin, I'm still always just gonna rock that skin no matter what. I didn't even go in with a moisturizer. So now with whatever product I have left, I'm just kind of going in and kind of building on those areas, like I said, that I want a little bit more coverage. It's always good to reassure that you kind of lock everything in, everything's nice and blended. Some more coffee, please. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to be highlighting underneath the eyes. So I'm just going to be taking my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in number 25 here, and I'm just going to be doing it right underneath the eyes. And then we're going to be cream contouring a little bit, so I'm going to be taking the shade 30 in Cafe. And I'm just going to do a little of this, do a little of that. So this is a great way for you guys to kind of save a little bit on the powder. If you're finding that you're kind of running low a little bit, you can kind of use like a darker shade of concealer, a darker shade of foundation, and kind of just go on the outer perimeters like you would with the powder. So that way you're not having to apply as much powder to like contour you, because you already have like a natural contour going on. Natural. And I love using concealers honestly, because you're going to find like a lot more coverage, especially if you want that coverage look. I'm going to cream contour this nose a little bit. And I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blend out all the lights first. As well as I'm going to take, on each side that I put the concealer on, I'm going to be taking that onto the lid of my eye, just to kind of already kind of prime it and conceal it. This is a great method for you guys, especially if you're It's honestly a great method for you ladies out there or men that are like running late for work and you're like, I don't have time to use my Urban Decay primer potion, like I just want to just quickly prime my eyes. You can take the concealer and just place it onto your lid, and then while you're setting your entire face, you can set your lid with the translucent powder, and there you go. So right here I'm just going to be pinching the beauty blender and kind of just like carefully blending out that middle shade first. If you're not comfortable doing that, like in between the colored contours, you can definitely blend out the lighter part first and then go in and place all your dark shading, so that way you're not mixing shades together and it's like creating a whole different other color. Next, I'm just taking my contour brush from Real Techniques and I'm just going in and buffing out all those darker areas that we placed, and I'm just doing circular motions. If you find that it's getting like splotchy, you can definitely take like an oil, definitely kind of just like blend this out a little bit more seamlessly if you leave it on your face longer. And then for my nose contour, I'm going to be taking the M443 brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to blend out those liquids. And I really love this brush to contour my nose. I just find that it's nice and like flat but still a little tapered, so I can get in there and kind of blend out these shades. And then if you find that you kind of mixed in that lighter shade with the darker shade, you can kind of take your finger and just kind of blend out that shade. And then to kind of lighten up that contour, you can take your beauty blender and kind of blend out those shades. For my powder today, I'm going to be using my Airspun Loose Face Powder. I've actually been using this for a couple days now. I just recently purchased it and I bought two because I was like, if I do like it, I want to make sure that I have a backup, and honestly it's so affordable and this stuff rocks. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my Morphe E3 brush and I'm just kind of picking up this powder and I'm just going to be pressing it in, not kind of like rubbing it in all over my face, because that's just going to disrupt any of the makeup and kind of make things look a little bit splotchy and not as full coverage as you want it to be. The only thing that I hate about this powder is that it does smell like grandma, and I don't appreciate that. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably have one that's scented like mothballs, but... So next, all I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to bake underneath the eyes and around the other areas. You guys know that I do this all the time. And then I'm just going to take this underneath the contour that we created. Normally, I'll do this anyways, even if we didn't do the contour yet. But this is just going to ensure that it's nice and sharp right underneath. So now I just like this to sit on my face for about like 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how much of a like mattified oil-free finish I want. Especially if I know that I'm going to be wearing this makeup look throughout the entire day. I mean like 12 hours or more. I'll definitely leave this on for like at least 3 minutes on the face, and then I'll just sweep it all off. But since we are going to be contouring a little bit, not too much, I am going to be taking my e.l.f. Quad Contour Palette, and honestly, look how much I have used this palette so much. Like, it's crazy how fast I finished this, and I'm like, damn. But I'm definitely gonna buy another one. It's only $6. You can find this at Walmart, you can find this at CVS, Target, Walgreens. Like, girl, you need this little contour palette here because it is everything. So I'm just gonna be taking my Morphe E4 brush, and I'm just going to be dabbing because, like, honestly, this palette is super pigmented. For like the quality of it, I mean, for the price, you get such a good quality in this palette, and I'm just going to be building this up. And also, the reason why I'm patting is, one, because I don't want the makeup that I have underneath to kind of break up or anything. I kind of want it to just stay on my face without moving around. And if I do decide to kind of like blend things in, I'm using a very light hand. I'm not putting so much pressure onto like the brush. I'm kind of just using a light hand and kind of just distributing out this product. And then I'm just going to be dragging this down to my neck, because sometimes we can get like a little generous with our face and really contour everything, but we want to make sure that our neck has a nice smooth transition. We don't want to be like brown and then like yellow, you know what I mean? And then that same brush that we used for our nose contour, we're going to use that for our powder contour on the nose. So I'm just taking those same shades and very lightly building up that color. And I'm just going to kind of take this into the crease as well and kind of connect the nose contour. Just because I find with like these winter months, I kind of want to go like a little bit darker with everything. It brings the darkness out of me. And then we'll just kind of take our beauty blender and kind of press on the nose contour here so that it doesn't look too dark. For our setting spray today, we're going to be taking the Bosho, the White Charcoal Mattifying Makeup Setting Spray. If you guys haven't tried this out, you need to. This is like the Beauty to Go size, honestly, but the full size is gigantic and you get so much for your money. So make sure to check it out. I want to say it's a little cheaper than the Urban Decay All Nighter too, so just letting y'all know. So for the glow today, we are going to be taking the Anastasia Glow Kit. Honestly, I need to buy like another glow kit because I've had this one for a little while, but this is that glow kit. And I'm just going to be taking my Morphe M310 brush, and I'm just going to be taking a little bit of bubbly and dripping in gold for the highlights. If this came with a mirror, that'd be freaking bomb. Anastasia, put a mirror in these palettes, cause ooh, that would sell. Imagine if I was like in the car, like looking at my highlight, I'd be like, ah! It's going to be lightly building up this highlight, and I'm doing it as my makeup setting spray is kind of like drying down, but it's still a little wet. So this is really gonna intensify the highlight. I think I'm highlighting. I'm gonna take a little bit of bubbly right here and kind of draw it upwards. So kind of rub, 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 and then draw up. And kind of just use what you have left, and if you want to drag a little bit that you used on the tip, you can. We want to look like Rudolph, okay? We're getting ready for Christmas. I kind of like to pucker my lips a little bit, like, if you find that it's kind of overshadowing on the bronzer, you can kind of take a little bit and kind of rub it together using a light hand. This will kind of blend the two together without it looking so streaky or anything like that. To get started with the eyes, I think we should. Alright, so the first color that we're going to be picking up is Lula, and I'm going to be picking that up on my Morphe E22 brush, and I'm just going to be applying that onto my crease. And this is just going to be like a nice, like, taupey gray. So I'm just going to be buffing that all up in my crease, up in my outer V, and I'm just going to be diffusing that. The next color that we're going to be taking is Isabel, and I'm going to pick that up on my Morphe M200 brush, and I'm just going to be putting that right on top of Lula, but kind of focusing it more around my entire eye crease and not so much on the outer V. And I'm just doing windshield wiper motions just to really build up that color. I'm almost taking this also into like my inner corner as well. And this is just going to add a lot of like dimension into my eyes and not so flat. Next, I'm taking a little bit of Violetta on my E36 brush, and it's just a very precise small pencil brush. And I'm just going to be taking that into the upper part of my crease, and this is just going to make it seem like I have a nice deep socket. And it also helps if you kind of open your eye at some point to kind of see where your eye kind of sinks in, so that way you can kind of focus it there. Alright, and since we already have this brush in our hands, we might as well just take this onto our lower lash line. I want to get really nice and as close as possible to my waterline as I can. So the first time that I saw this palette and I saw what shades were going to be in this palette, I was dying for the olive green shade that they were going to have, and I wish it was matte, but I'm alright with it being a little bit of a shimmer because we can never have too much shimmer in our life. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Bronx onto my Morphe M167 brush, and we're going to be packing this on our lid. And just a heads up, if you don't tap off some of that excess, since it is such a creamy and like very fine eyeshadow, this will kind of fall onto your makeup. So make sure that you tap out that excess so that you don't have that issue. The last thing you need is this falling on your face, and then you blend this out and it's like, ooh. So one of the reasons why I do like this palette is because a lot of his shades in here are very, very neutral and natural looking, so it's very perfect for like the average day woman or man who wants to just kind of dress up a little bit but not go fully intense with like a dark smoky eye. It's very possible with this palette to do that, but you're not going to have any blacks or like those very dramatic eye looks. You're going to have something that's very just nice, sexy, something that, you know, he stands for, which I really like that he kind of built this palette according to what he likes to see on women. For a little added dimension, I'm going to be spraying a little bit of water onto my brush here, and this is just going to pick up the shadow very intensely. So especially if you want more of like a metallic sort of finish on this eyeshadow, you can definitely get it there. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of Paris, and I'm just going to take that onto my Morphe M562 brush, and I'm just going to pack that into the inner corner. And this is going to be a nice taupey shimmery shade. For a little bit of a brow highlight, I'm going to be taking Fifth Avenue in Hollywood on my Morphe M133 brush. And I'm just going to be mixing these two together, and I like this because it's an itty bitty fan brush, so. And if you find that that kind of overpowered your crease area a little bit, you can kind of just go back in there and kind of just blend it out so that those two kind of transition pretty well together. So I'm going to be taking a black eyeliner, and then I'm just going to be applying that onto the inner portion of my waterline and then the outer portion. I'm skipping the center only because I wanted to very focus like in the center part of my eyes to really draw the attention. About like right there onto the inner corner. And then if you find that you got too close, you can take your nail a little bit and kind of like move the color. But do you see how that kind of really focuses right onto the pupil of the eye? It kind of just like closes the inner and the outer portion off, and it just really kind of just focuses it. We don't want to do a wing, I just want to do something that's just going to be very natural. For lashes, I'm just throwing on some Ardell Wispies, nothing new. Alright, and then for mascara, I did apply a little bit of my Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara in Excessive Black, and honestly, it's my favorite mascara. Like, guys, I'm telling you, if you do not own this mascara yet, go and get it. It's like $27. Alright, so for lips today, I'm going to be taking my Milani lip pencil in 03 Nude, and I'm just going to line my lips up. So for lipstick today, I'm going to be taking the MAC in collaboration with Selena Quintanilla. I love this collection. I was there in line to go and see it, to go and buy it, so I did purchase one of their lipsticks in Amor Prohido, so I'm going to be applying that today, and it's one of their glazed lipsticks. So it's a nice nude. It's not going to add so much color, but it's just going to, you know, give a little pop. So it's perfect for this look since we are going very like natural looking, like I'm going to go on a date. I'm not going to like a movie premiere, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Alright guys, and that is the finishing look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I am going to be uploading another Halloween tutorial, hopefully up soon. I want to keep doing these tutorials for you guys, so make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to tell all your friends and share this video and just inform them that I'm here on YouTube, so yeah. Alright guys, so I'll see you guys later with my new tutorial. Bye.